Okay. All right. Sorry about that. We will try this again. Just standing up nice and tall today. We'll do some hip rolls to begin with. I'm just gonna explore our hips this morning, moving them back and forth and around and around. Uh, yeah, notice any little stresses or tensions in your body. Let's get our arms into it. So bringing our hips back to center, bringing our feet about hip distance apart, and up nice and tall. Let's roll those shoulders down and back. Let's do some arm sweeps. Excuse me. So as we inhale our fingertips up towards the sky, and then exhale brings them back down. We'll bend in those knees as we inhale it up, and exhale back down. Bring it back up, and bring it back down. Oh, good. Let's get some shoulders into it. You don't have to spend a lot of time on your yoga. Years ago when I was a dental assistant, the number one question that I was asked was, Jen, do I need to do, or like, do I need to floss my teeth every day? And so the answer would be, no, just floss the teeth that you want to keep. So fast forward to today. Let's bring one ear towards one shoulder, open up that side of the neck. So fast forward to being a dental assistant, the number one question I'm asked is, Jen, do I need to do yoga every day? I said, no, just move the body parts you want to keep. It's the same thing. So kind of funny how things kind of line up. You have the same answer. So let's stretch it over to the other side. Oh, if that side's a little bit tighter. My massage therapist said our necks nowadays and all of the age groups are really tight, just with our electronics that we use. So it's really nice to pay attention to those. That neck, and bringing your chin in towards your heart. And just staying here for a couple more deep breaths. And let's inhale it up towards the sky. So it's a lengthening and lifting, not so much a crunching in the back of the neck. So it's just lifting that neck up towards the sky, dropping those shoulders down, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Now fingertips by your sides. We're going to inhale it back up again and exhale. Let's bring it back up and exhale. This time we're going to inhale, grab a hold of one wrist and bring that wrist over towards the opposite side. So opening up the side body here. Awesome. Let's inhale it back to center. Nice and tall, lengthen. And then grab a hold of the other wrist and bring it over towards the other side as we exhale. Chin tucks in towards your heart, just protecting that neck. Inhale it back up again. And just shake everything out. We're going to go down onto the chair today. Lovely chair, especially when, if you're not, available to get all the way down to the ground, you can do everything in the chair. So it might get bad rap being a seniors kind of thing, but if you're stuck at work and just, your hips start to get tight, or you're stuck traveling all day, whether it's in a car or an airplane, you know that you can always move your body, even if it's subtly. So we're just going to rock our hips from side to side in our chair as well, just like we just did. Yeah. Good. And then those fingertips can come down towards the earth again. We're going to inhale those arms back up and exhale. Inhale back up. Maybe look up towards that thumb if it's available, and exhale brings us back down. Chin tucks in towards your heart as you inhale back up. Bringing that breath in and leaving that breath out. And this time as we inhale back up, let's turn and twist over towards one side of the chair. So one arm's going to just kind of rest on one of the knees or on the side. And then that other arm, if available, can grab a hold of the back of the chair, the side of the chair, or just sling right over the back of the chair. And looking over that shoulder, again, just to where you stop. So you don't want to cut off that breath. You want to still sit up nice and tall, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, looking over that shoulder. Good. We're going to inhale that back to center, bring it all the way up. And exhale, bring it over towards the other side. Very gentle. Oh, bringing that other arm down. The other arm can grab a hold of the side, the back, or just sling it right over the back of the chair. And looking over that shoulder, any amount. A couple more deep breaths. Inhale as you lengthen up. Exhale, come into that twist a little bit deeper. Good. I'm going to inhale that back to center. Inhale those arms way up toward the sky. And this time as we exhale, let's bring those forearms to rest on the thighs. So checking in with that lower back this morning. Oh, a little tightness going on. That's okay. Maybe rolling the head from side to side. Again, always exploring, discovering how your body's feeling, just checking in. Ah. Now, if that's feeling okay, and the yoga fairies are showing up, maybe you can bring one hand onto the earth and then the other. And then tucking your chin in towards your heart, top of the head reaches down towards the ground and moving that head from side to side. Now, if that yoga fairy starts to show up, get a little dizzy, just bring your forearms back onto your thighs. Whatever's going on in your body, just sway that from side to side. Check in with that lower back. It's feeling pretty good. Let's bring ourselves all the way back up. Bring it all the way up. And bringing our hands to back behind the chair. Lifting our heart up towards the sky, dropping those shoulders away from the ears, lengthening, opening up, big smile on our faces. It's going to be a beautiful day again. Good. So that's a really nice little opener right there. And let's get a little bit more of a twist, a hip opener as well. So most of us are women here, so we can multitask. So let's bring one knee in towards our heart and let's flex and point those toes back and forth. Feeling okay? Again, you get to be the bus driver here. If gets to be too much, you want to bring that leg down a little bit more. Okay, let's bring that foot down. Let's bring up the other knee. Again, interlace your fingers underneath that kneecap and back and forth here. Point and flex. Maybe check in with that neck. Couple deep breaths. Okay, great. That feels great. Let's bring up the other knee again. Give a little hug, and we're going to place it on top of the other leg. So we have a number 4 shape with our legs. So you can feel something in that right hip. Sorry, your right hip. There it is. Good. And then maybe just rocking that from side to side. Yeah. Again, there's always an option if that's just really too tight today. Bring that foot a little bit closer down. And if you're just more used to crossing your legs, that works too. Always offering modifications in my practice. Okay, so opening up that right hip, that feels okay. We're going to scoot those arms forward, keeping the weight out of that knee joint. Just so you feel a little bit more sensation in that hip. Too much sensation, you know that you can always come back up. Yeah, find your Goldilocks position this morning. Just opening up that hip, really nice thing to do just before you get out of bed too. Just open up those hips. Great thing to do just before bed. Open up the hips in our number 4 shape. Keeping those hips really open and ready to serve us into our golden years. Good, let's inhale ourselves back up. Let's bring it into a twist again. So bringing everything over towards that bent leg, bringing one arm down, the other arm comes back behind you. As we inhale, lengthen up, and then exhale, look over that shoulder. And we're just going to stay here for 2 more deep breaths. So as you inhale, lengthen up, exhale, come into that twist a little bit more. Oh, one more time. Good. Let's inhale it back to center and then all the way over towards the other side. So we'll open up that twist. And then inhale it back to center. Let's take that top leg off. Give a little thanks and bring it back down to the earth. And just taking our time to transition to the other side. No rush. Okay, just rocking those hips back and forth. Maybe a little bit of cat-cow here. So as we exhale, rounding our back behind us, and then inhale, lengthen up toward the sky. Drop the shoulders away from the ears. And then exhale, brings us down. Inhale, lengthen up. And exhale. Bringing it back to center. Let's bring that other knee up. And let's place it on top. And get to decide, where that leg's going to go today. Take your time. Another little tip too is just to make sure that knee and ankle are stacked. Just keep you really supported. Not wonky going off to one side. Just keeping it nice and safe. Again, you can stay right here. This is enough sensation in that other hip. Or if you want to bring your arms to reach down towards the ground. Woo-wee. Yeah. Good morning, hips. So reaching those fingertips down towards the earth. Ooh. Just a little bit about our hips. We hold a lot of negative energy and feelings and emotions, just all negative in our hips. So that's why it's really important to release them as much as possible. Because if you've had a mother or grandmother, they've broken their hips over the years. There's probably because they didn't do yoga or opened up their hips earlier on in their lives. And that's, if you don't work them, they're going to snap one day with all that compression going on in the hips. So let's do some preventative. I certainly never want to go through that, watching my mother doing that. So we're just going to hang on for a couple more deep breaths because it feels so good. All right, on our next inhale, let's bring ourselves back up. And then exhale, let's twist over towards that side with the bent leg. Again, just hanging out. Your arm on the back of the chair, the other arm's just resting. Now, as we inhale, lengthen up. And exhale, looking over that shoulder. Just a couple more deep breaths. Now on our next inhale, let's slowly bring it back to center, sitting up nice and tall. And then exhale brings us over to the other side. That's awesome. Let's do one more pose in the chair before we move on. So we'll just bring that leg off, give it a little hug, and let's extend that leg nice and long. So maybe you want to come away from the back of the chair a little bit more. Okay, so having those toes point up towards the sky, legs are nice and long. You can bring a little bit of a bend in those knees, especially if you have a tight hamstrings. So taking our arms and just running them down along your legs just to where you stop. And I certainly don't want you to fall down. So you feel, not supported or unsafe. Just bring yourselves up to where you feel a little bit more comfortable. This is a really nice opening in the back of my leg. So you decide whether or not you want to come down a little bit more. I've pulled my hamstrings several times over the years of not listening to them. So just, trying to keep up to the person on the next mat or whatever, not listening to my own body. So that's why I'm always really uh vocal about you listening to your body, just because you can hurt yourself, whether it's walking or doing yoga and anything that you might be doing. So if you're listening to your body, it's always, yeah, great thing to do. I'm not pushing. All right, on our next inhale, let's bring it back up. uh, Place the feet back on the ground. Let's make our way all the way onto our mat. So I'm just going to adjust everything. Let's see. Sorry about that. Screwed everything up worse. That did not work out. There we go. So make our way all the way down onto our mats. It's nice to have a little bit of cushioning under your knees. Got some grouchy knees or sensitive knees. Really nice, little bit of padding and blocks. Keep underneath your wrists, especially if you have sore wrists, or just keeping them nice and healthy. And let's just rock those hips from side to side, just like we did at the beginning. And just exploring. And then bringing it back to center. We're gonna inhale, so dropping our belly down towards the earth as we look up towards the sky again. There's not big of a strain here, it's just the intention of looking forward, so lengthening that neck forward. And then as we exhale, let's round our back up towards the sky. Chin tucks in towards your heart. Top of the head reaches down towards the ground. Just let everything go. Maybe moving that head from side to side. Inhale, lengthen us forward. And then exhale. Let's wiggle those hips from side to side, back and forth. Now, like we just did, let's open up those hamstrings on the ground now. So extending one leg back, keeping those toes tucked on the earth. So that heel and the crown of your head are reaching opposite directions. Just feel that lengthening, pulling that belly in towards your spine, back and neck nice and long. Good. Let's bring that knee down. Let's extend that other knee or leg nice and long behind us, keeping those toes tucked. Good. Now, how about I'm going to place my blocks down on the lowest level to be safe this morning. And I'm going to extend one leg nice and long, keeping those toes tucked. Bringing the other one nice and long, so our plank pose. So back and neck nice and long. And then on our next exhale, let's bring those hips up towards the sky. And let's walk our dog. So bending one knee and then the other. Good. And bringing those heels down towards the earth. And let's slowly bring one knee onto the earth and then the other. All right. Let's turn to face towards the camera again. Roll those shoulders down and back. Again, we're just exploring those hips as we're sitting down on the ground. Things are feeling pretty warm. Good. Let's change legs. So bringing the other shin in front, moving it back and forth. Good. Let's bring the soles of our feet together. So cobbler's pose here, the meeting of the soles. Sitting up nice and tall. We're going to take our hands, just glide them down our legs onto our feet. Hanging on to those toes. And bringing our chin in towards our heart. The top of the head can reach down towards the ground. Moving our head from side to side. And just breathe. And dropping everything down towards the earth. We're going to come into this pose in kind of a yin style. So this is the third style that I was talking about for our yoga today, where we hold poses from anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes. Today, we'll just be holding it for 2 minutes. That way, we will get all the benefits of this pose. So, 3 principles with yin yoga is define the pose, okay, and then find the edge. So the edge is where we stop, okay? So that's that point in between comfort and discomfort. So if you come to a pose and you go, whoa, that is a lot of sensation, Jen, I don't think I can hold this for 2 minutes. Bring yourself on and up, okay? To where you think you could hold it for 2 minutes. And then you hold for time. That's third principle. And that's where the magic happens, is holding it for time. My yoga went through the roof once I started holding these poses for a longer time. So that's why I really want to introduce it into my next course, a little bit more yin, because it just accelerates everything once you start to lengthen your time. It's not so much about the up and down, no, going through the process. It's about quieting the body and coming into the mind and connecting. So we're about halfway through this pose already. So I'm just going to be quiet for the next minute or so. So bringing your chin in towards your heart, top of the head reaches down towards your toes, and let's just hang out here. You kind of slumpily slump in this pose. You can let everything dangle down towards the earth. You're not holding yourself erect. Now let's stay here for 3 more deep breaths. Now on your next inhale, we're going to come up just the way we came down. So bringing your arms to come along your legs, bring yourself back up, sitting up nice and tall. We're going to bring our hands to the outside of our knees and hold them together like a book. And just take a moment to just wrap your arms around the front of your legs and bringing your chin in towards your heart again. Just a quick transition. We always have a transition in between our poses. Not rushing to the next thing, not anticipating. Just taking a few deep breaths. And on our next inhale, let's slowly bring ourselves back up. Keeping a deep bend in those knees. We're going to slowly slide those heels away from our body. Okay. So we're folded forward, knees are bent, and those heels are just going to lightly slide, slowly slide away from us. Okay. So coming into our caterpillar pose in our yin series again. So we just find that pose that works best for our body this morning. I've got some blocks underneath your hands are really nice, just so when we hold that pose, we can stay here a little bit more comfortable, so hands can be under there. Another option with those blocks is to bring one right underneath the shins there. Just keep them a little bit more supported. Or you don't need anything at all. And so you just kind of discover your pose, come into it, whatever it looks like for you. Again, maybe those heels want to come in a little bit closer. Yeah, you know what? That's a little bit more comfortable. I know I can make 2 minutes in this pose. And let's hold for time. Again, just 1 minute here, opening up the back of the legs. And while we're in this pose for just 1 minute, I don't want you to go numb or rush into your day with your to-do list. You've got lots of time for this. It's just your 1 minute to just focus in on your breath. Watching the inhales and exhales. Let's just take 3 more deep cleansing breaths before we start to make our way back up. Ready, let's slowly roll ourselves back up. Well, let's bring our hands back behind us, fingertips pointing towards our body. A little bend in those elbows, and then maybe just lifting our chin up toward the sky like we're sunbathing down in Costa Rica. So opening up our heart, some deep breaths. On our next inhale, let's bring ourselves back up, sitting up nice and tall. Roll myself all the way down onto the earth. So let's take our time. This is yin, so everything's very slowly, not fast. And bring it all the way onto the earth. Oh, awesome. So bending both knees, placing the soles of our feet on the ground, and bringing our knees into touch. So it's kind of a TP situation. So bringing those feet out towards alongside of your mat. Knees are touching. And bringing one hand onto your belly and one hand onto your heart. And let's just breathe here again. This is called constructive rest. We just watch the breath moving in and out of the body, the rise and fall of your hands. Okay. And let's slowly bring our knees away from each other and walk our feet a little bit closer towards each other. I'm going to bring one leg up towards the sky. Again, that leg doesn't need to be long. Nice and straight or anything, just bringing that heel up towards the sky. Now, this might be enough, but if you want to follow me in bringing the other leg up towards the sky. A little gentle bend in those knees. And again, you can stay right here. Or if you want to lift those fingertips up towards the sky, still keeping the shoulders rooted on the earth. They got nowhere to go. So legs and arms are up towards the sky. Any guesses what this is called? Dead bug pose. Yeah. All right, let's slowly bring everything back down onto the earth. Awesome. Let's do one more twist. Let's bring our feet a little bit closer towards each other. One leg goes over top of the other, just like we're sitting in a chair cross-legged. So keeping those shoulders still rooted on the earth. Arms are straight out by your sides, palms facing down. We're going to scooch one hip under and bring everything over towards one side. And again, just to where it drops. So if it doesn't come all the way down to the ground, that's okay. Just try to get comfortable in this pose, whether or not you bring a block underneath one foot or onto the shin. Or if you can reach, hold it there. And you can keep looking up at that blue sky. Or slowly start to turn your head and look over towards the thumb, the opposite side of where your legs are turned. You feel a little bit more of a deeper stretch and of a twist. We're still yinning it out here, so we're going to stay here for about 1 minute. Again, a reminder just to pay attention to your breath. And when you start to go into your day or back into your previous day, just remember to come into this moment and watch that breath coming in and out, bringing you into the right here, right now. Okay, let's take 3 more deep breaths. Ready? Let's slowly bring our head back to center. And then our legs back to center. Let's go ahead and lift that top leg back off. Bring that foot back onto the earth. And let's come into that teepee situation again. So bringing our knees towards each other to fall and our feet coming out towards alongside of our mat. Just 2 more deep breaths. Slowly bring our knees away from each other and then walk our feet a little bit closer towards each other. And let's take that other leg and place it on top. Arms are still straight out by our sides. And this time, let's have the palms facing up towards the sky in a gesture of receptivity. Scooching that other hip under. We're going to bring the legs over towards the other side, keeping those shoulders still rooted. And maybe that top foot touches down, maybe it doesn't. Just getting comfortable with this pose. Remember, we're still finding the edge in this pose, so maybe you need to, maybe adjust the shoulders a bit. Maybe scooch that hip under a little bit more. Maybe the opposite, scooch it a little bit less. I'm gonna find somewhere that you can hold it for a couple of minutes. If you've found your pose, this side for our twisted branches today, let's just hold this for 1 minute. Again, you can look up at that beautiful blue sky or slowly start to turn your head to look towards the side without the crossed legs. Go ahead and just hold here for 3 more deep breaths. Bringing that breath all the way down and all the way out. A couple more times, inhaling and exhaling. Our next inhale, let's slowly bring our head back to center. And then our legs back to center. And placing that foot back onto the ground. And then lifting up the other leg. And placing that foot back on the ground. And keeping that back and neck nice and long. A nice little stretch to do before we get into our Shavasana is keeping those knees nice and bent. We're going to take our fingertips and we're going to reach down towards those knees. So bringing those knees in towards our heart. Just grabbing a hold of those kneecaps. Fingertips are pointing down towards our toes. Just grabbing a hold of those kneecaps. And we're going to bring one knee in towards ourselves and then stretching the other knee away. So it's like a little bit of a stretching out those shoulders, the neck here. Again, just to where you stop. So it doesn't have to be too sensational. So let's bring that other knee in. And let's extend that other knee away from it. So just lengthening that other knee, straightening that other leg or arm. Again, nothing's fast and yin. So let's just do that one more time each side. Kind of exploring, oh yeah, this side's so much tighter than the other. Opening that up. And let's do the other side, last side. Good. Let's drop those feet down towards the ground and then extending one leg nice and long and then the other. So both legs are nice and long here. Arms are out by your sides, palms facing up towards the sky. Maybe even pulling those shoulder blades towards each other a little bit more. So really opening up our heart here. But still the shoulders are rooted on the earth, really opening up that heart. Let's start to relax everything. So letting those feet flop out to the side, letting the shins relax and the thighs. Bringing our awareness to our hips, letting them rest on the earth. Relaxing the belly. Moving up to your heart and your shoulders. Nice and relaxed too. Now moving our attention up to our jaw. Just maybe moving it from side to side. And unhinging a little bit. And cutting. Let your tongue rest behind your top front teeth. Now moving your awareness up to the bridge of your nose and to your forehead, which is nice and smooth, free of wrinkles and worry. So from the crown of your head down to the bottom of your feet, everything's relaxed here. Nothing left to do but breathe and relax. Let's just stay here for 1 minute. Just to remind you to stay in this moment, stay in this time with me. And when your mind starts to wander, which it will do, it's the mind, just bring your awareness back to the breath. And start to deepen your breath. Maybe moving your head from side to side. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking a full body stretch here, just lengthening and opening up towards the sky. Oh. And then counterposing that by slowly bringing in one knee, bringing it in towards your heart. Oh. And then the other knee. Yay. And then just gently and slowly rocking from side to side, little mini massage here. Releasing those feet back down to the ground. You're going to slowly scooch on to your left side, your yin side, your feminine side. You're just staying there for a few deep breaths. Just letting the asanas or poses wash over you. Noticing how you're feeling. Mm-mm-mm. Now, in your own way and in your own time, let's bring ourselves up into seated. Sitting up nice and tall. Having your hands resting on your lap or on your knees. Your eyes are closed. And just taking in a few more moments of tranquility and peace before we start our day. Now bringing our hands into prayer in front of our hearts. Letting those thumbs resting on our sternum and lifting them up towards the sky. Just noticing how we're feeling and taking it into our day and share it with others. Now bringing our thumbs to our third eye or your forehead and back down to our hearts. And we bow and say, Namaste. Namaste, everyone. And thank you so much for showing up or hitting this replay. make sure that you hit the button to subscribe. I'll be trying to do these as much as possible. No promises how frequently. So as much as possible, and then that just lets you know when the next video has uploaded, and you can join me for another fun-filled class. Okay. Hope you're having a great day and continue to.